Samar Al-Ashgar joins me now. He is the president of KAPSARC in Saudi Arabia. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, give us a feel for the takeaways from this meeting and how important this meeting is.
Well, thank you, Etna. First of all, maybe let me talk about the IEF. I've been following the IEF from afar for about the past 4 or 5 years. I've been following even closely after I assumed my role within KAPSARC for the past 2 years, and it's been quite impressive to see their stature grow. If you look at the people who are involved in this session, the participants, the speakers, the stature of the people that are engaged has increased over time. I'm very pleased with what I've seen from the event. Very pleased with how it was organized, but quite frankly, beyond the technical content, it's a fantastic networking opportunity, which is an expression of the convening power that the IEF has had. Some of the takeaways I've taken, or some of the takeaways I've extracted from this meeting are perhaps more questions than actual insights. There were a few nuggets, few insights, at least from understanding how Asia views gas, understanding how the West views gas, some discussions around Middle East, North Africa. But I asked one of the major questions one of the major questions I came up with, is asking myself, given all the advantages that gas have from an environmental perspective, from a cost perspective, why isn't it as positioned more prominently than it is now? And that's something I think is perhaps a question it's not necessarily an economic question, it's a bit beyond that, but it's an area of study that I think KAPSARC will look into, perhaps with the IEF as well.
And indeed, I think it's a role too for all the ministers involved here. Slowly, gas, I think, is emerging. Tell us a little bit about some of the great work that you're actually doing at KAPSARC as well.
So one of the activities that we have, we've had an in-depth study on LNG and the history of LNG and the future of LNG. This is actually a joint study between us and the OAS. We've published the book by one of our authors, one of our researchers in KAPSARC, on the future of LNG from Anne-Sophie Corbeau with David Ledesma in the OAS. So understanding how gas will evolve within the LNG context is an important aspect of understanding the overall energy markets.
And of course, KAPSARC and the IEF actually we might expect also a sort of a joint conference with you sometime soon in the future. You've already had one before, and we should maybe look forward to this, because from the academic standpoint, this is also extremely important, isn't it?
We have an ongoing relationship with the IEF. We're both in Riyadh. We work in complementary areas. We'll have an upcoming joint workshop in February. We've already had 2, and we continue to see this ongoing in the foreseeable future, if not even expanding.
So for all the students at KAPSARC, you think that we might have a bit of a refocus on gas. You're looking at the entire energy mix, but gas probably finding its prominence now in the year to come.
I think gas is one element from the overall energy mix. Gas is one of the areas that we always seek to expand, at least in the near future. But you have to also look at this complementary activity as it relates to renewables, as it relates to the overall energy mix. You cannot look at one aspect without taking into account the other aspects of the overall energy requirements from a supply side or even a demand side.